Hello, one and all, and welcome to the 160th episode of the Voluntary Viewing podcast, recorded on October 11th, 2021, Indigenous Peoples Day. On the podcast, we have Ryan, I Hate Skyrim Holtz.
Skyrim's not a good game for everyone, and I'm one of those people. And I can recognize that it is a huge accomplishment and a landmark gaming title that has influenced every open world game since without personally enjoying it. But no, I will not go to bat for the fact that Skyrim is bad. Skyrim is not bad.
So, Skyrim, if you'll bear with me here, might be the Beatles of open world RPG video
Nope,
games.
you lost me already.
It's not good. It's full of shit.
Just said it is good.
Wow. But it is
None of
very
this I
important for the development of the media along the way down the line.
So after...
I do that might be your opinion, but it is not mine at all.
No, I speak for Ryan on this one.
I think Skyrim is good. Skyrim is a good game that I don't like.
So after that setup, I can no longer say I don't like Skyrim. So I'm going to have to pivot and say, if you're one of those people who's put like 300 hours into Skyrim over like 10 playthroughs, what are you doing? Do you really think that's the best use of your time? There are other games, bud.
Just like shaming people for playing a game too much.
Yeah,
Playing one game too much.
Lucas started this out as like a Jacques Hughes, that guy doesn't like Skyrim, let's all point and laugh.
No, that wasn't my intention.
But also,
that was
if you like this game, fuck you, you loser.
Are there any games that you think do deserve that much playtime and it's fine?
Yeah, Fire Emblem 3 Houses.
Single game. Is it just any single game in general is you should not be sinking that much time into it because there's other games that exist?
I can maybe see the argument for MMOs. Stuff with evolving content, stuff where being a part of a community, doing things as a group, kind of creating your own narratives along the way are a part of the appeal. But yeah, I've played Skyrim. I played a good amount of Skyrim. I just don't get it. I don't understand how somebody can be like, yeah, this is it for me forever.
What's the game you've put the most amount of time into?
Like one specific title, or if it's a broad franchise, it's Pokemon.
No, one title.
The first thing that comes to mind is I probably put 140 or so hours into Persona 5 Royal.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you do not play games very much.
No.
Like you are a breadth. You're quantity of games versus quantity of time in a single game.
I don't have your superpower, Ryan. I can't stick with one meal too long. I gotta change it up.
I'm literally the opposite. I play a few games a lot.
Mm-hmm.
That is my thing. I don't even want to know how many hours I have into Minecraft over the course of my life.
Ooh.
Call of Duty Black Ops 1 alone, I definitely have at least 30 days, probably more like 40 or 50 when you count all game modes.
How much time do you guys think you've put into your Madden campaign?
I've looked at that
A
recently.
lot.
Yeah, we're like 200 hours.
Yeah.
And then
That's definitely the most time I've put into a single video game in a long time. You know, back in the day when I was in high school and we did all play the same Call of Duty game. Like that got up there. Not close to what you have done, Ryan. But yeah, a lot of time. And then it was Battlefield. Even though I was just kind of playing that on my own, I played Battlefield 1 probably like 300 or 400 hours total.
That was your like unwind at the end of the day game back in college.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's allowed, but if someone decides to unwind by booting up Skyrim and playing that at the end of the day, that's no bueno. Gotta mix it up.
I don't get what keeps people coming back to that game other than, well, it's Skyrim. Like, maybe this time I'll kill Parthenax. I don't know. Like, what are you doing?
What comes back? What makes you come back to Battlefield 1? It's Battlefield. Maybe this time I'll be in the train. You could argue that's even worse. There's even less.
Yeah, no, I would say, like, in Battlefield, you do one thing. You shoot people in the face. You can do that in a variety of ways.
Yeah.
But you shoot people in the face. In Skyrim, and even, like, to an extent, like, games like Fallout, like, there's a lot of different storylines that you can play through. You can customize your character to, like, be skilled in different things. You can choose different dialogue options to align yourself with different groups.
All right.
Yeah.
Just not for me.
Look, I don't like Skyrim in particular, but yeah, like, as someone who plays single games a fuck ton, yeah, I know what it is, man. I call them podcast games.
Yeah.
Games that you can play with a podcast on the background. That's the only way that I can actually turn off my brain ever, is when I am fully immersed in something by, like, clogging every single brain cell up with tasks, listening to a podcast, playing a game at the same time, or whatever it is.
I'll get to it later, but that might have been what Fire Emblem Three Houses was for me towards the end. But
oh boy, that's a story game. That is not a podcast game. Games with storylines and stuff are not great for that.
We'll get there. But before we get there, I have to introduce a man who was mere seconds away from putting a helmet on, walking out onto the field, and telling Mason Crosby, I got this one. Andrew Clark.
Yeah, Andrew the Iron Leg Clark, they called me.
Yeah.
Known for my prowess kicking in football, a sport that I have definitely played before. That was a weird game. It was very weird. Also, like, my viewing experience with that game was super weird because I watched the first half of the game, then I had to leave and drive to a different town to pick someone up. And when I got there, I had missed most of the third quarter, but then we sat down and watched the fourth quarter together, and we're like, oh, okay, we'll watch the fourth quarter, and then we'll leave to go do this thing we're going to do. We watched the fourth quarter, and it went into overtime, and then we're like, okay, well, we have to leave now, so we put the game on the radio and listened to overtime on the radio. And then when I got back, I had taped the game, and then I rewatched all the parts that I had missed.
Yeah. How much did they sell just how bad that Joe Burrow interception was, like, on the radio? Like, I think I would have been shocked if I didn't see that live.
It was similar to, because then I watched overtime once I got back as well. It was kind of similar to the call on TV. It's just like, I don't know where he was throwing it to. Like, obviously, like, I think it was Tyler Boyd. You know, there was some miscommunication there, but he never cut back, and he just threw it to no one, and Devondre Campbell was the only one in the area, and he just, took it.
No, that's your answer. He threw it to Devondre Campbell.
Yeah. And it's like, I don't know where he was throwing it, Jim. It was just... Jim. But then the all the missed kicks on the radio, it was so fucking good. I mean, obviously, the 3 missed kicks in a row to end the fourth quarter were just baffling, but then the 3 more missed kicks in overtime, the 2 more missed kicks in overtime, and then one made kick. Like, those, it was so fucking funny to listen to. Someone has put a plane of glass between the goalposts, and no one can get the ball through. I don't know if I've ever seen anything like this. Have you? And Larry McCarron going, I don't know.
The Fox broadcasters, the commentary, they kind of jinxed it. They kept
trying to jinx Mason Crosby on purpose. You saw the first half, so you know, like, they kept purposely, like, jokingly bringing up the fact that he had made 25, then 26, then 27 field goals in a row without.
Will he ever miss? Yeah.
And but they would, like. It was Jonathan Vilma was trying to, like, get Kenny Albert to say the stat on the graphic, and And Albert's like, I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't make the graphic. I don't want to say it. Like, knowing that it would probably jinx him. And yeah, they just kept doing tongue-in-cheek references like that. And it was like, yeah, something's going to happen. And yeah, definitely some weird shit going on with the wind and everything like that. Like, the fact that their kicker fucking celebrated his miss.
And then for, like, not, like, just... it was
for a while.
Like 10 full seconds of I just won the game. I'm getting laid tonight. This is the best moment of my life. What? What? He like even pointed like, no, like you saw it. It went in. Like you can't do this to me.
A professional kicker definitely knows when it's good.
Yeah.
And Mason Crosby also 100% seemed pretty shell-shocked with a couple of his misses where he was just like, I don't understand, like how did that one miss? Like usually with kickers you'll see them miss wide left and then they'll overcorrect and go wide right, but like he just kept missing left. And then McLaughlin kept missing left, which granted, you know, maybe McLaughlin was trying to overcompensate basically, like just trying to do the, or McPherson, was that his name? McPherson, yeah. He was trying to overcompensate maybe. Like you gotta imagine a rookie kicker watching a dude who's been doing it for almost as long as anybody with all gray hair just be completely unable to put it through. That's gotta fuck with you. You're just like, I gotta do the opposite of whatever he's doing.
Fuck, if he can miss, I can miss. Jesus Christ.
And also his 57-yarder, like, come on.
Nah, that's a coin toss.
You can't count on your kicker to make that one.
That's a very long
and he still fucking doinked it. Like his misses were literally hair breadths away. Crosby's misses were a little bit farther.
I did say
and worse.
During his like post game press conference, I'm like, damn, Mason Crosby had jet black hair at the beginning of this game.
Yeah. It was a weird one. I'm glad he got to kick the game winner, and honestly, like Lucas was there. I was advocating for us going on 4th down.
Oh yeah.
But then like thinking about it, yeah, it was a really smart coaching move
to try to give him
it, because if you don't
back.
If you don't, you basically kind of have to cut him. Like you basically have to move.
You're saying I don't trust that you're going to make a field goal to win the game, and if it doesn't come back to bite you in this game later, if you don't get if you don't get a touchdown and have to kick it, it's going to come back to bite you at some point.
You're shooting the confidence down, and like after he missed his game winner, the Bengals kicker off the flag, I was like, look, honestly, I don't know if we deserve to win this one. I might be cool. Like, look, 3-2, we'll be fine. Like, granted, we got a rough schedule coming up, but like, we'll be all right probably. Like, if we lose, we lose. So it was definitely the right move to kick there.
This is easy to say after the fact, but supposedly Crosby was like, no, I got this now. Like, put me in, coach. I can do this.
Yeah, I mean...
I'm sure he said that.
Yeah, I was going to say,
like, too, as well.
Like, Aaron Rodgers said he went to Mo Drayton, the special teams coordinator, and said, is he going to make it? He's like, hell yeah, he's going to make it. But how many times do you think he said, hell yeah, he's going to make it in that game? Because there was 4 misses. He probably said, yeah, he's going to make it, and was wrong 4 times.
Right. After the extra point, he definitely like didn't say anything because that's just a fluke, random shit. After the second one, you know he was definitely reassuring someone that he was going to make the next one, and then definitely after the third one, and then definitely after the fourth one. Yeah. So at least 3 times he was promising that he'd make the next one.
Also, it does nothing but lower team morale if LaFleur comes out as saying... No, yeah, in the moment I was like, well, there's no fucking way he's going to do this. Our kicker's a piece of shit now. Yeah, but like, he proved me wrong.
The only guy that can do that is Urban Meyer, apparently.
Oh my God.
Trevor Lawrence.
Oh.
Yeah, no,
Is he going to go back to Ohio?
No, he'll go to USC.
Oh.
If they'll have him. USC might not even take him at this point. He might be pretty toxic.
Urban Meyer's shit now. Always was.
Yeah. No, we made some bad decisions too. Don't want to put it all on Crosby, just to put a bow on it. Like the Packers kicking on third was some fucking dumb shit. Yeah. And then the Bengals running the ball on 3rd down twice to set up the game-winning field goal was also dumb. Like they had no reason to not try to convert both of those 3rd downs and instead took basically a guaranteed field goal because it was 3rd and long and they decided to run.
Yeah.
So both teams kind of put their kickers in positions, and clearly some shit went on.
Right.
So, look, the fact that we got to watch a cool game and get out of there with the win, I feel spoiled. And both my fantasy teams won, and the Badgers won. Like, this is the first time that's happened all year for me. Right. I'm 4-0. Last year, that happened all the time.
The Brewers lost today.
Fuck.
And
did they lose again? I wasn't watching.
They lost today and they lost
We're
Saturday.
done, huh? How you feeling, Lucas? I thought the Brewers were going to win the World Series this year. This was their year, right?
Still time.
We're one game away from elimination.
We're basically guaranteed elimination in this series.
It's a 5-game series.
Yeah, they're up
first to 3.
Okay.
Yeah. No, we're right against. We're backs against the wall right now, and this is the divisional.
It's where we perform best.
We're guaranteed to meet the best team in the NL, be it the Dodgers or the Giants. Like, they're playing each other right now, and they're both like kind of the 1 and 2, or 1A, 1B. So we can't beat the Braves.
I believe Wisconsin can get the turkey. We can do it.
Boy,
man, Giannis dropped a 50-piece in the NBA Finals. We shouldn't be able to ask for more than that. But yeah, like I do want it all.
It's gonna have to be enough.
We are gluttonous.
Jair Alexander's probably out for the year, and the Brewers are down 2-1 in the divisional. Yeah, Giannis single-handedly delivering us a championship is just gonna have to be enough.
I want it. Last but not least, on the podcast is me, Lucas DeRuyter, a man who is technically unemployed today, but tomorrow I start a cool new job doing exactly what I was doing before, but with more money, better health insurance, and 401k matching.
Oh yeah, also I have Lucas's social security number and driver's license on my phone. So if anyone wants to take Lucas's identity, I will sell it to the highest bidder.
Have fucking fun with that, gang. You try dealing with this shit. You try being me. Good luck.
When they steal your identity, you realize they don't literally take on your identity.
They don't suddenly have problems with anxiety and then like are... shit like that, whatever you got going on. Like, they don't absorb all that stuff. They just take your money. And they use your credit information to get loans.
Nope, full package.
Yeah, no, it'd be nice if it worked that way. Although I don't know if you'd want to swap identities with someone who's stealing identities. I imagine they're not
living well.
Doing great themselves.
Like, grass is always greener.
Might be a down trade. The grass is always greener. Then you can start stealing identities. It's like It Follows, but with
Lucas intentionally gets his identity stolen by an identity thief so that he can then have access to the world's network of identities. He can become anyone he wants at that point. Right now, he's not an identity thief. Lucas can't take the identity of George Clooney. But if he becomes an identity thief, he can do that if he wants.
Yeah. There's only like 20 identity thieves at any given time. So when you take when you give up the mantle of identity thief,
it's like the Dread Pirate Roberts.
Yeah, no, it's the law of thermodynamics. You can't create new identity thieves. You have to, when you get rid of one, you add a new one to replace it.
Somebody get the fucking Looper people on the line. I feel like there's a screenplay here.
I picture it's going to be like the Game of Life, where like you get to draw 2 people and you have to choose between the 2 of them which person's identity you want, and just like, oh well, this guy's a doctor, but he is like 54 and like single. Like, that's kind of sketchy. And
isn't that a drama series that's coming out this year where it's like one guy and it's what if he became a cop? What if he was a doctor instead? Yeah, what if he was
it's out
a bum?
It's called Ordinary Joe. No, he's not a bum.
What's the some other third thing?
I think he's like a musician or something.
Yeah, he's a world famous musician.
Sure.
And they're like, which one's best? The one where he's literally got everything that he ever dreamed of, but like, boy, he wonders what it'd be like on the other side. Where he's like a cop who's like single and like kind of a loser, or where he's like a nurse and he's getting a divorce. Which of these 3 is
so does
the best
like each
one?
Episode feature like several minutes from each life and that's it? Or
it's like Game of Thrones, but it's all the same dude.
I think they are wildly overestimating what American audiences are able or willing to keep track of.
That's a lot of bandwidth. Like,
I've seen the pilot, and they do like try to really make it obvious. Like, I think he gets shot in one, so he's in like a sling, and then in another one, I think he's always wears glasses in the nurse one. Like, they really have to put markers
it's
in
like
for like, nah, all right,
it's like a
now
thespian
you know
actor who's doing multiple parts, and they have to wear garish clothing to distinguish themselves.
Right. Also, in the cop one, he really does want to be a musician. Like, that's
my God.
Yeah, like he literally is singing Piano Man in a cop bar, like, for all of his cop buddies, and they're all like singing along with the line, like, "What are you doing here? You should be a world famous musician."
Why the fuck are you a cop? Why is this one of the stories?
And then it cuts to him being a world famous musician, and it's kind of like, yeah, wait, why isn't this just the show?
Right.
Why isn't the show just about this dude who took a chance and became a musician?
So I'm going to give them credit for doing something that sounds fairly original in American mainstream television, but it doesn't sound like it works.
It's not bad. Like, yeah. It's This Is Us meets fucking, I don't know, Groundhog Day, whatever. There's characters that recur somehow. Like, the butterfly effect doesn't apply to this universe. Like, even though him becoming a world famous musician would have gargantuan like consequences to the timeline. Like, the worlds would be massively different because of like all the stuff that would change based on this this decision being made. But like, yeah, in the nurse one, he saves this politician who, like, they tried to assassinate him's life. And then in the cop one, he saves that politician's life because he's,
and the
like,
musician one,
cop.
he saves that politician's life.
And in the musician one, I think
he assassinates
the pilot.
politician.
I think in the pilot, they set up the fact that it got delayed, the politician's rally, where he is going to be like an attempted assassination, because he's going to play for that politician's fundraiser. Like, he's the talent who got booked, but then he was like, oh no, I've got a last second conflict. So they push it back a week. So it's like, maybe in a week he'll get shot and die, and then he won't know what to do.
No, the assassin kills some other random politician because they didn't get to assassinate that one.
Yeah.
Oh man, he was
and it's the same assassin,
burgeoning congressman, but instead they just shot the president.
Yeah, no, it is. Yeah, there should be huge effects that are like make the worlds completely different places, because the farther back you go in like timeline type shit, the more shit gets fucked up. Like, if we went back 500 years, humanity might literally just not exist, or like be a multi-planet species right now. Like, the effects of one small decision are huge, and not in this show.
Yeah, it would be like
it's like he's got just a timeline generator.
It's the utopia, like society if Drake stopped making music, like that kind of thing.
If Drake would have stopped making music 10 years ago, this is the world. This is how Earth would look.
So right now, No, Doubt is the only title contender, and yeah, I'm rooting for it. I think we can do better, but that's on the short list as we head into News of the Week. Sora from Kingdom Hearts is the final Smash Ultimate fighter.
Yay, I win my bet with Ian that it's not going to be Master Chief.
No, well, okay.
It was going to be Master Chief.
Yeah, Ian was big on Master Chief.
Master Chief is a Mii costume fighter.
It's not the same thing.
I thought it was Doom Guy was the Mii costume fighter.
Oh, wait, no, I'm mistaken. Yeah,
no, it's not Master Chief.
I
would have definitely
those are the same in my head.
I would have definitely put money on Doom Guy over Master Chief.
Also, Andrew, I want to take a second to thank you for calling him Doom Guy and not fucking Doom Slayer or whatever
the Doom
these
Marine
edgelords are trying to make happen. No, he's a guy. He's Doom Guy.
I'm just Doom.
I'm John Doom.
Not John, just Doom. Doom! You gotta kill these demons, Doom!
Doom!
But boss, it's date night.
Doom and his boss, they're two unlikely companions. Doom shoots the demons and the boss nags. I don't know.
I like it.
I didn't think it would be Master Chief.
No.
And I am vindicated. I think I was told that, no, I'm pretty sure it's going to be Master Chief. It was a long, long time ago. We were roommates then. But, yes, we did have that bet.
It's actually
6 months ago.
Way more than that.
Oh.
When the first DLC Smash characters were dropping. And he was just like, oh my god, I think it's gonna be Master Chief. And I was like, it's not gonna be Master Chief. And then they started actually like doing some very non-Nintendo type properties, and I was like, oh, I mean, look, maybe I'm wrong. And then, nah, vindicated.
Vindication. Yeah. Well,
Sora's got a big key.
Yeah, it uses it as a sword. So,
wow, what a unique concept for a Smash character.
Fuck you to everyone who didn't want any more anime sword fighters. You get the most anime sword fighter.
Spiky hair JRPG sword fighter guy. But this time he's friends with Mickey Mouse.
Nope. He is not legally not friends with Mickey Mouse. What? Or Donald or Goofy.
What?
There's a pretty iconic piece of art in the game that has like Sora's other anime-looking friends in the background, and then also Mickey, Donald, and Goofy. And then in Smash Bros, Mickey, Donald, and Goofy aren't in that artwork anymore.
So they somehow were able to get the license to the Kingdom Hearts character, but like didn't have anything to do with Disney, even though it's technically a Disney game.
Correct.
Cool.
I think this is confirmation that Disney is working on their own version of Nick Smash Brawl or whatever the Nickelodeon game is.
It's kind of the likely next step.
Just like Elsa fighting, I don't know, Bart Simpson.
That does bring up an interesting point of, this Sora news was so big that I didn't realize that the Nickelodeon Smash clone came out the day the announcement happened. Just because Sora drowned out that Smash game entirely.
They did that on purpose. I'm positive
I'm sure.
They did that on purpose. I mean, Nintendo also leaked the roster for the Nickelodeon game so that Nick couldn't do it.
It's a little tinfoil hat, but I'd buy it.
I'm pretty sure it was confirmed.
Oh, fuck.
How did Nintendo get access to the roster?
It's published on Switch. So, like, they got the copy of, like, the game descriptors. Yeah.
That'd be pretty fucking dastardly.
Right. Speaking of... what was that? Speaking of some dastardly shit, the biggest Twitch hack of all time happened, revealing everything from top streamer payouts to the platform source code.
How much is Hassan making?
Critical Role makes $10 million a year. Jesus Christ, Critical Role.
You wouldn't have thought.
I would not have guessed Critical Role makes that much fucking money off of Twitch, like, sales. That's obviously, like, nothing off-platform is counted in that, which is fucking wild.
T-shirt sales, ad partnerships. Yeah.
All that shit.
Fuck.
I think, what was Hassan? Was he, like, 3 million or something? He was up there.
Right, but that was known already. Like, if he was buying an LA
No,
house,
he publishes his subscriber figures, so and he doesn't have any alternative income sources unlike every other Twitch streamer. So yeah, like he literally he's the only one that in theory shouldn't be affected by it, but all the normies are obviously
exposed.
They don't know what a subscriber count is and have no idea how much money he was making until now.
I think women were a surprisingly small percentage of the top earners, so
it's not surprising.
Hot tub meta, maybe not the best strat after all.
Well, they're not like top earners, but they all make like 6 figures.
Fair.
Like, you'll take 6 figures to lounge around in a hot tub and talk. Like,
right now, in fact, somebody make me an offer.
Exactly. But yeah, they're not in that top tier because men are fucking sexist assholes. And yeah, like quote unquote serious female gamers are not going to get as much attention for the quote unquote right reasons. I don't know. Pokimane was up there.
No, good for Pokimane.
Obviously.
No.
And what's her name? Who's the the real sexual one?
It's something mouth, right?
It's not no.
Amaranth?
Amaranth. Yeah, that sounds right.
Although she just got banned for no reason, or without explanation, apparently. Let me be very clear on that.
That was a good correction.
Without explanation.
I'm pretty sure there's a reason.
Although she's gonna be fine.
She'll do alright.
Yeah.
But yeah. For no reason.
Yeah,
that was a great correction.
Little peek behind the curtain.
Definitely a reason. Whether or not it was a legitimate reason, who's to say? But there was a very specific reason that she got banned. Yeah, there's like a site up, right? It's like twitchearnings.io. They made it into like it's the point, like that's a game. Fuck, what is it? Now I'm upset. Anyway, I'll look for it. You guys find that.
Cool. Next up, Blizzard removes suggestive lines of dialogue from World of Warcraft. Has this made people forget that Activision Blizzard is currently being sued by the state of California and the feds for rampant sexual harassment in the workplace? Did this do it?
It made me forget.
Oh.
Yeah, meeting with Activision Blizzard regarding how to get people to forget about the fact that Activision Blizzard is being sued by the state of California and the federal government for rampant sexual harassment in their workplace. Is it removing suggestive lines of dialogue? You see, for a minute there, you had me, but then when you got to dialogue, I remembered that Activision Blizzard is being sued by the state of California and the federal government for rampant sexual harassment in the workplace. Is it a massively online multiplayer game?
Gentlemen, we need to be accountable. We need to take responsibility for what we've done. We need a new cookie.
Ooh, it's a cookie.
Oh man, how are we gonna get people to forget about all this shit that we're doing still and being sued for, and everything we're doing to cover up the fact that we're doing that? What if we make a sequel to Overwatch? Ooh, that one's close. I got an idea. What if we just say we're gonna make a sequel to Overwatch? We don't have to do it. We just have to say we are.
The PR is still that this is the last season competitive Overwatch or Overwatch League, I guess, is going to be on the base game. So I guess they're confident they can get something out next year, but I'm skeptical and definitely not going to buy it, even if they do. So whatever. Nah. The Japanese war crime denying composer of the Dragon Quest franchise has died.
Damn.
No.
Rip to a real.
Okay, so I was in a Discord server. Somebody had posted that their friend had just passed away. This is when the Facebook outage was happening. So that was the first thing they saw after Facebook went back up, and kind of saying oh, hey, Facebook finally came back up. What's new? Oh, my friend died. One of those kind of things. And then somebody immediately replied with RIP. Am I so irony poisoned that nobody says RIP, nobody says RIP genuinely anymore?
Yeah. It is.
It's like putting an F.
Yeah.
It is definitely still used unironically. But yeah, they have to be olds or just not anywhere close to our social group.
Right.
There are still people our age that use Facebook unironically. There is a certain group of person. You know what I'm talking about.
The people who we went to high school with who are still in our hometown, you mean?
Yeah. Those kinds of people. They would say RIP, but unironically. They don't know what deep fried memes are, Lucas. And we're so many light years behind that shit at this point.
Yeah.
Online discourse, however funny, is always leading to our eventual doom. Like, it's so beyond the pale.
That is a spectacular transition into this next story. Kotaku published an article about how Metroid Dread is already running on emulation platforms and sites. And that upset a bunch of people for some reason.
Tell us about it, because I don't get it.
So, I think a lot of people took this as Kotaku promoting piracy. I think a lot of people read this in bad faith as, wow, Kotaku is telling people to pirate this already super successful video game. And I just, even buying into that line of argument, like, people were I didn't see anybody bring up, like, wow, it's shitty that somebody emulated this game. That's not what people were saying. They were saying, wow, it's shitty that Kotaku would write about people emulating this game. And I don't get it. I don't understand how people can be mad about this, period. What's going on? Touch grass, I guess. It's my only reaction to this one.
These are the same types of people that have played 300 hours of Skyrim.
Maybe.
You aimed so low. I think that was part of it for me. 300 hours is like, boy, that's a lot of gamers, man. There's a lot of people with 300 hours in Skyrim.
Have you seen, like, the amount of time that people put into, like, fucking CSGO?
Yeah.
300 hours in Skyrim is nothing. That is a walk in the park, my dude.
Yeah, that's just not how I engage with that kind of media. That's a me thing.
No, that's totally fine. Because I also would not really play a game that takes 100 hours to beat and then play it again.
So, like, they're different enough experiences that I don't think you can lump those together. I might have 300 hours between the two of them, but, like, no, individual property is there.
Which Pokemon do you have the most hours in?
Ooh, I probably bummed around a lot in Fire Red as a kid. So that one.
Kid is a bit of a cheat code.
Right.
Kids will rewatch the same movies literally dozens of times.
We've all been there.
Like, do you think you got 300 hours in Fire Red?
Probably.
There you go.
Yeah.
I'd argue that's a less in-depth game than Skyrim. Boy.
I heard you talking about doing a Nuzlocke in a game recently, and that's...
Yeah, you did.
That's very much along the same vein of, I'm going to play the same game, but this time I'm going to join up with the Stormcloaks.
Well, Nuzlocke.
You're adding additional restrictions.
Almost weirder.
I'm going to play with the
Nuzlocke
Stormcloaks and not use magic.
Never heal.
Never die.
Yeah.
Just a video game. Oh, no, not a video game, Donkey. Like a Doug thing. Like, I'm going to play Skyrim, but every time I die, I have to spin a punishment wheel. Or woolly mammoths pop into the sky.
I think we'd have fun with the Nuzlocke. Maybe once quarantine cast winds down, if that ever happens. I don't know. Look at that. It's on the docket.
I would be concerned about this if we didn't already have a lot of those out there. Like, was it Hoonie Pop? I think was one of them.
Oh, that's true.
We've proposed playthroughs before, and they've never come up before. So I'm not as concerned anymore.
Come on. One Saturday night, the partners are busy doing something else. Get the guys together, play some Pokemon, watch our children die. It'll be great.
Watch our children die?
Yeah, what?
Yeah. Our Pokemon.
Oh.
That we name.
Faint.
No, in a
Nuzlocke.
in a
In a
Nuzlocke,
Nuzlocke,
the
they
idea
die.
is that they're dead, and then you
release them.
kick them out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Can you release your starters in Pokemon?
You can release any Pokemon so long as you have one Pokemon in your active party.
And if you get down to that, the idea is that if you have one Pokemon in your active party and that one faints, it's game over, right? And you start from the beginning?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Easy money.
Then you just fucking lose. Like a loser.
Yeah, this would just lead to me doing the tank thing. Like, some people would be like, I gotta be really particular about my strategy. I'd be like, I'll just use the same Pokemon all game long and it'll be fine.
Unless they bite it, then you're fucked.
Yeah. I don't think they will.
And you got to plan with the strategy of not even considering the possibility of failure. You are landing on what's the Pokemon Island? What is it?
There's a bunch
Like what?
Kanto.
Yeah,
Johto.
you're landing on Kanto, and then you're immediately burning your boat.
Yeah.
You can't go
That's how
back.
you do it.
Ryan going all in on the firstborn son. Like, this is you. Your siblings
All
are
in
shit.
on Chikorita.
Oh, boy, that is going to lead to trouble. We can plan it out. We can plan it out.
I did an accidental Nuzlocke on Pokemon Gold in that he never fainted, even against Rollout. And I remember everyone saying, this is such a big, difficult challenge. And being like, I don't even remember that gym. Oh, wait, she had a big cow.
Yeah.
That's right.
Netflix has suspended a trans employee that was critical of Dave Chappelle's new comedy special on the platform, in which the comedian makes jokes about the trans community and cancel culture.
Yeah. Netflix has been great about this situation.
Shit's fucked.
And their CEO came out and said, like, yeah, no, it's not hate. Like, that's what he said. He was like, it's risky, but it's not hate. You guys need to calm down.
I don't think it crosses a line. That's what matters. I don't think it crosses a line.
I'm Ted Sarandos, CEO of Netflix. And, you know what? Calm the fuck down, everyone else. I'm white and male. Definitely not trans.
Maybe lighten up a little, kids. I don't know.
It's because of the shit that they did with Dave Chapelle. They went so hard to back him.
Right.
Because he was basically, like, saying if you work with Viacom CBS, like, our professional relationship is dead, so that he could, like, regain some ownership of Chappelle's show.
Mm-hmm.
And Netflix backed him so hard that they're kind of fucking...
They're locked in.
They're pretty tied in. They've
Ride or
got him
die.
locked down for a long-term deal, and he's pretty lucrative for them. So, yeah, they are in a pretty awkward position right now. Yeah.
But I haven't seen the special, although it's my understanding he opens by saying, if this is what being canceled is like, I love being canceled.
Yeah, that's the point.
Yeah.
Is you're not canceled, Dave Chappelle. You literally are on the biggest platform in the world right now.
Everyone watches
You are the opposite of canceled.
You are doing so well. You have so much power and social clout that, like, people are willing to burn bridges in the corporate world to have your content. Like,
Every single person between the age of, like, 34 and 48 listens to your shit as gospel.
Yes, he was definitely the little guy at one point in his career, almost certainly. But now,
Yeah, Jerry Seinfeld was at some point in his career the little guy trying to make it in the world of comedy. He's not anymore.
Yeah. Look, words of power.
yeah.
Netflix is also, like, pretty notorious for being this way with their employees. Like, they do... I can't remember their exact phrasing. They require all-stars. Like, that's what their hiring managers are tasked with finding, quote-unquote, all-stars. And they do yearly performance reviews where your manager is basically, like, told 100... Is this person 100% like an all-star? Like, the best person at their position in the industry. And, like, if not, all right, we will lay them off, give them a severance package, and find another person to try to find that all-star. Like
They
this is kind of their corporate culture. Like people are very much just
pitted against each other,
tools
trying
to be the absolute most efficient corporate like people in the world, and if they're not, then
they
get rid of them.
It's like how getting a 4-star review on Uber gets your ass fucking canned.
So
exactly.
This expression is going to totally hold, but so then Netflix is paying all of their employees the league maximum?
They are.
Oh, well, okay then.
Netflix pays people
I
a fuck
mean,
ton.
not the healthiest culture to have, but all right, at least they're executing on the other end of that promise.
They 100% are notorious for vastly overpaying every single employee. Like that is the thing they do, and give them a fuck ton of benefits. They're like they're trying to execute a meritocracy without realizing the human toll that can have, I guess, or maybe realizing it and not giving a shit.
Yeah.
Is what it is.
So they're like cycling out their CEOs too.
Yeah. Ted Sarandos is totally not the original CEO of Netflix. Reed Hastings is totally not still the majority shareholder. That was literally the founder of Netflix.
I want someone to do a performance review and see if they're an all-star.
I think Ted Sarandos just botched being an all-star earlier today. He said that, so... Yeah, I think Ted Sarandos might be in trouble. We'll find out.
It's frustrating. It's frustrating, and it shouldn't be the culture anywhere that you can't be critical of the place you are working without fearing that any kind of public expression of disappointment with your employer won't result in punishment.
That is every single like part of corporate culture, though. Anywhere you go, like if you aren't agreeing 100% with how things are being done, you're not a team player. You're bringing it down. You're discouraging positive work environments. You're the problem.
Yeah.
It's a sliding scale with how much companies will put up with that, though.
That's fair.
Yeah, Netflix and Disney are both pretty
low,
notorious for having zero tolerance for that sort of thing. So, yeah.
Andrew, do you think we can squeeze enough vitriol into the next 8 minutes to cover this next one?
Oh yeah, I think we can.
Oh. What's up?
It's a short piece. We don't get into it too long.
Short but sweet, Sonata. This is
Jon Gruden is a racist, as we all could have guessed but didn't really have any proof of. Yeah.
4 years into their Jon Gruden hatred, Andrew and Lucas have a legitimate reason to hate Jon Gruden.
I think is paid too much money is a fair reason to hate somebody.
I think being annoying and being bad at your job is a fair reason to hate someone.
Getting paid too much as an individual human being, not liking that is a little weird, I'll say. But yeah, like being annoying, I guess.
I hate Jeff Bezos for no other fact than he makes too much money.
He's not an individual human being. Jeff Bezos is a fucking capitalist monopolist who literally forces people out of the industry. Of their own free will, the Raiders decided to give Jon Gruden a bunch of money. And what was he supposed to say? No, that's too much money. Like that literally sets precedent for other coaches in the NFL to also get more money. Like it is bad if he were to say
plus
no.
He knew he was eventually going to get fired from ESPN for being a racist. He had to take this job.
Yeah, he's a bad person. We now know this. It took 4 years for you guys to finally have a reason. But I feel like you're gonna rewrite history. I definitely
read the vibes. Like, I said that to Jade like 48 hours before this shit came out. I'm like, man, Jon Gruden.
I need that in writing. I need that in writing. You saying to Jade, I think Jon Gruden's racist. 48 hours before all this stuff.
Yeah, it's because he was talking about how much he likes Hunter Renfrow. I'm like, that makes me feel like he's racist.
He's a bad person. We know this, but I feel like you guys are going to get into some revisionist history, like the Allies and the Nazis in World War II, where you're like, we were fighting to free the concentration camps, and it's like, you barely knew they existed when you guys got into the war. Like, yeah, you can pretend that's why, but we all know that was just a healthy coincidence that makes you feel better after the fact.
Okay. So getting back to the actual story and not just our spin on it. Jon Gruden, it came out that in 2011 he sent an email where he referred to I think it is the NFL
Player Association president.
Player Association, an executive director, DeMaurice. Am I pronouncing that correctly?
Yeah.
DeMaurice.
Or DeMaurice.
All right.
However.
DeMaurice Smith, who is a black man. Jon Gruden sent an email saying, quote, "Dumb Boris Smith, terrific start."
Straight Trump.
Yeah.
Like, just ahead of his time.
Just really not even creative name calling.
Has lips the size of Michelin tires.
It's bad.
Fucking God. Fuck you, Jon Gruden. Once this came to light recently in the Wall Street Journal, he tried to walk it back by saying, he meant that he had rubber lips, which is an expression for calling someone a liar, which reeks of a PR person finding
it's like, you got 6 hours, find me something, it doesn't matter how stupid it is, find me some sort of different meaning here.
And now Jon Gruden is out saying, quote, "I do not have a racial bone in my body."
Which just is what racists every time.
Did you listen to, like, the whole thing, like, where people were asking the questions? Every single time he's like, I'm not going to answer those questions anymore. Like, I think it's pretty obvious I'm not a racist. Just, like, shit like that. There's not a racist. There's 100% not a racist, and I take pride in the fact that I lead people together. So I'm not a racist, obviously.
I like to consider myself a man of faith, and there's a drive to deep left center by Castellanos, and that'll make it a 4-0 ball game. That shit's it's so dumb. I don't know how no one ever picks up on the fact that, like, maybe I should use different language, because using the exact phrase, "I don't have a racist bone in my body," is what every single other person who is accused of being a racist says.
Exactly. You can say anything. If someone...
Yeah, you can say, "I'm not a racist human being," and that's going to play a lot better than "I don't have a racist bone in my body." It's a very specific phrase that only racists use to defend themselves.
But regardless of how you phrase it, like, just, it doesn't matter. You can say anything. Hey, man, there's not a socialist bone in my body. Like,
hey, guy, there's not a racist. I'm not a racist. Oh, God. Yeah, it's okay.
Just, yeah, you can say anything. We're really good at this. Jon Gruden could say, yeah, no, like, we're really good at not turning the ball over. I don't know.
That's the insanity defense, right?
No.
You are damned if you do, damned if you don't in this situation. Saying that you're not a racist is only going to make you seem more racist. And saying nothing is, going to definitely make you seem like a racist. Just not responding at all. So, yeah, like, he is fucked. But, like, reasonably so. They caught him in 4K. Like, this isn't some hearsay thing. This is a straight up
But he didn't even do, like, the regular PR thing that you do when you're caught, like, doing something super shitty, where you go, like, "Oh, man, I acknowledge that my actions, could have offended people, and I am deeply sorry. I'm working on bettering myself." Shit like that.
Nope.
In this situation, I think he's too beyond the pale. If he admits that was about race and not his, like, thinly veiled, "No, I was calling him a liar," like, he's fucked.
He doesn't.
That's too fucking racist, man. That comment is
I
way too
agree,
racist
but, like, normally when I that's just, it's not what I expected him to do.
It's not to that level, is what I'm saying. Normally, when people say, I don't think that way anymore. Like, I'm working on myself. I'm working on becoming a better person. They're not that bad, the comments that they originally made. Or they can at least pretend they were like a joke.
Or
in this one, you kind of can't. And we got to switch.
Or even fucking... That defense also only works if, like... Oh, I think we're getting kicked, yeah. That's how much vitriol we have about Jon Gruden, folks. Couldn't fit it in 10 minutes. Yeah, that defense also only works if, like, Jon Gruden was 17 when he said that stuff or something like that. This was 2011. He was 50.
I want to clarify. That defense never works. Like, it's never, like, true.
Like, who's pitching for the Milwaukee Brewers in this series against the Atlanta Braves?
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Who's a beloved pitcher who's single-handedly carried the Brewers to be one of the best teams in the National League? What's that guy? What's his name? What'd he say on Twitter? He was pretty bad. I think it had some N-bombs in there. I think it had some F-bombs everywhere. That defense absolutely works in the public eye. Sure, with some people, they're going to remember it forever and never forgive that person. But, like, to pretend that Brewers fans haven't totally embraced Josh Hader as just a great person that everyone loves and really good at baseball is missing that one.
Yeah, but I don't like Jon Gruden. So.
Josh Hader is good for my team, so I forgive Josh Hader.
I mean, Josh
Hader was 15 and 16, and like, yeah, regardless of how you feel about whether that like absolves him of guilt, like it is 100% different than a 50-year-old man who's like prominent person in this sport insulting the black labor relations or not labor union leader.
Right.
Like, it's just completely different than some edgy teen being a fucking moron and exposing the fact that they're remarkably ignorant and racist at the time that they were in their teens, which is, it informs the fact that they might still absolutely be that way, and they're gonna have to take a lot of steps to repair it. But when you're in your 50s already saying that stuff, that's who you are. Like, you're done. You can stop being in this position of privilege and power at this point. That's fine.
So let's wrap this up with what's going to happen to Jon Gruden.
Nothing.
They'll have a morality clause, and if he does get fired, he won't get any of his money, so you can at least then stop being upset about that. But yeah, there's a good chance he won't get fired.
No, I don't think he's going to. I think there's very little chance that he does, unless, like, I think they said that there are, like, tons of emails that Jon Gruden had sent that are being looked at, and he also said some stuff about Roger Goodell, which might have, like...
No, he said that. Jon Gruden came out and said, I also said things about Roger Goodell. He's not black, and I didn't like him either, so, like...
Yeah, hey, I didn't say anything about his fairy ass.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, like, that's literally his best defense at this point, is like, look, I just hate a lot of people, and
I'm racist to everyone.
I'm not a bad person.
Jon Gruden quickly emailing the Raiders IT department. Is there any way you can forge an email to say that Roger Goodell had lips the size of Michelin tires?
It's just the thing I always say. It's like my catchphrase. I've always said it. It's like when I said on Monday Night Football, man, you're talking about them being good against the run. You got lips the size of rubber tires. It's my famous catchphrase. You've all heard it.
You joke, but like, that would be the smoking gun that would kind of absolve him as just a fucking dumbass. He's absolutely guilty, and 100% that is a lame ass excuse.
Right.
But at the same time, like, if he was like, if some other tweet did come out of him saying that this white guy has lips the size of Michelin tires, I would be like, God, he is such a fucking dumbass moron who like does say stupid, meaningless shit all the time.
Yeah.
And like, still probably a racist because he's a white man in his late 50s. But like,
Fuck. All right.
That's great.
And that will take us into the breakouts. I got 2. But before that, Andrew, have you played any more of Deathloop?
No, I still haven't gotten around to Deathloop. I'm going to have to formally request a break from Madden, Ryan, because I need more time to play Ghost of Tsushima so I can finish it and then play Deathloop.
You haven't requested it in the past, and we've been sitting at week 2 for a while. So yeah, request granted.
Oh.
/ you could simulate your season.
How's Ghost of Tsushima treating ya?
It's good. It is really good. Like, a lot of my gripes that I had with how they handled like certain characters and their stories has kind of worked out over time. It's told in weird ways of like you can continuously come back and then do like another stage in that character's story and learn more about them instead of it just being one like 2-hour-long mission. But like it's fun. It's different. I just got done with just the coolest fucking side mission where, so in part of the story, like the Straw Hat Ronin, who are like organized by your like ex-best friend, they betray you and side up with the Mongols. And so then like along with the Mongol enemies that you've been fighting this time and getting used to, there's just hardcore Ronin walking around that are really fucking tough. And they fight like you. They fight like samurai. And I found a musician who tells like legends and ghost stories and shit. And he's like, yo, this fucking demon Ronin guy just came up to me. He came back. I thought he was dead years ago, but he's a demon. Came back, granted special demon powers that make him never tired. And he had been part of this Ronin group, and they kicked him out for being too bloodthirsty, but now that they're a bunch of traitors, they welcomed him back. And so now you have to beat his 5 Ronin underlings across the map that you like encounter randomly, duel them, and they're all really tough duels, and then once you're done with them, you can go find him and duel him, and then take his armor that lets you never run out of stamina.
Is that
really
the
cool.
better armor that you've been seeking out this entire time?
No.
Oh, okay. Oh.
I did fully upgrade that like legendary armor that I found, and it did make it actually really good. So
that does sound phenomenally cool. That is some good samurai bullshit. And I guess my last question on the game is, you had kind of hinted before that maybe the game is like pointing out some issues with like samurai culture. Specifically, the main character's uncle in the game is just a dick no matter what you do, and he is way in the samurai Kool-Aid. Does it get into any more of that? Because like I know samurai have been turned into figures of myth in both global culture and some concerning ways in Japanese culture when they were really just kind of cops in feudal Japan. Does it get any more of that stuff?
Yeah, I mean, like they're kind of just the enforcers of keeping the feudal system the way that it is, and they do bring that up a lot. Of like, your uncle put down a rebellion and like burned all of our crops and killed all of our elders and shit. Like that. I don't know if they really get into super hardcore details there, but like we've been living in squalor, and we fucking hate him. And now he's asking for our help because he says it's our duty as his like underlings. Fuck him. Fuck you. We're not doing that shit. We don't like the Mongols, but your uncle like killed every man in my family, like that kind of shit. So I don't really care about you.
Okay.
And then like the original ally that you have at the start of the game who saved your life is like, I grew up in the area that your uncle put down in the rebellion, and he never really gave a shit about us, and now he's calling me a loser because I'm a thief and I saved your life. And he's saying that like he's not going to help me out until I help him out more because it's my duty, because that's what I'm honor driven to do. I don't really give a shit about his idea of honor. What the fuck?
Who the fuck is this guy coming in here calling me a piece of shit? Wow. Okay, no, that's great. Cool. And I'm glad you're enjoying it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, as I kind of teed up at the beginning of this podcast, I finished the Black Eagles route of Fire Emblem Three Houses. Pretty good. Fun time. It nails the aesthetics of Revolution in a way that is really saccharine and just satisfying of, yeah, we killed the oppressive dragon pope. Now the Zoomers are in charge and we got some new rules. Rule number 1, the straights are on thin ice. Rule number 2, shut the fuck up, boomers. Rule number 3, we're gonna be a bisexual polycule and there's nothing you can do about it. Like, that's all fun. That's all... yeah, that's all... I don't know, like, why can't we do this in the real world kind of thing? But, yeah, I still wish this got further into the nitty-gritty of what overthrowing a centuries-long system of governance actually looks like. But, that's just kind of my preference. And also, I increasingly dislike how the Fire Emblem games have embraced branching narrative paths where, yeah, I beat Fire Emblem Three Houses, but I haven't really beat Fire Emblem Three Houses until I play the other 4 story campaigns, which will probably total another 120 hours into this game. Much of that being retreading on stuff that I've already seen, and no, I can't do it. I can't do that. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's still good fantasy bullshit, but also the previous game in the Fire Emblem series, which I think was a remake, Fire Emblem Shadows of Valentia, was also really good fantasy bullshit and not like 200 hours long, like, to experience everything.
Jesus Christ.
And maybe that was even better fantasy bullshit now that I think about it. Maybe that with its storyline of, yeah, these dragon gods that that taught us about fire and we thought were immortal, turns out they aren't really, and now in their dementia-addled state are causing a lot of problems for everybody. That was maybe a better storyline than what's in Fire Emblem Three Houses, but I don't know. I guess that one had less waifus, so it's less popular. I don't know. Ryan, what are you checking out?
How long has it been? I'm trying to think of what I watched. Been watching Ted Lasso.
Oh!
Had its season finale, so I'm catching up on that show finally. I'm almost done with season 2, but didn't quite get there before this podcast. And it's really good. Still delightful. Maybe a little bit not as compelling as the first season because of the lack of like a true antagonistic force.
Yeah, I've heard that criticism.
It's kind of like episodic. Every single episode has a new antagonistic force working against the main characters instead of like an overarching, person pulling the strings and kind of fighting against them. I don't know.
I mean, poor mental health can just be an antagonist. That's fine.
I thought not really though.
Oh,
not
okay.
like every episode. Like sometimes it's like, oh, the relationship, like struggles in a relationship. Sometimes it's literally football related. Sometimes it's like, oh, the power dynamics of leaders and just like,
yeah,
I don't know. It's not quite as compelling, but it's still fun and like definitely good. And I don't know. I expected her ex-husband to kind of be the bad for this season. The former owner of the team,
right,
was going to kind of like be set up as the big bad now that she was like aligned with Ted and the gang.
Mm-hmm.
And not really. So yeah, we'll see.
No.
But yeah, it's been fun. And then otherwise, what? I think that's about it. Y'all saw that they caught the Zodiac killer, right? Potentially?
Wait, what?
Potentially. Yeah.
Okay. We didn't talk about that. I meant to put that in the planning time. But I was looking through to make sure I didn't forget anything.
Some like cold case investigators that were doing like an independent investigation into the Zodiac killer identified a guy that they kind of fingered as a very likely suspect, and then they found a bunch of like photos and evidence from those crimes in his property. He died a few years ago, so he's no longer alive to defend himself or more likely face his crimes. But yeah, like I haven't seen it, but what people are saying is that they had like Polaroids from the crime scenes and shit.
He also has there's pictures of him with like the scars that the Zodiac killer like famously had in his bedroom. And like they seem pretty convinced. The FBI's kind of like, we're not quite sure. They're like, okay, well, we have his DNA. Test it against the Zodiac killer's DNA. And, like, we should be good to go here. Yeah. And I think it's still waiting on some of that type of stuff.
His name was like, I think it was like Gary White or something.
It was, what's it called? I lost it.
Just
it was
generic name?
Yeah, I mean, it was very, like, non-assuming name. I don't know if you thought his name would be Beelzebub.
Yeah.
With how much the Zodiac Killer has been built up, that'd be a good narrative.
I think CNN isn't publishing the guy's name that they...
I mean, that I could understand. They don't do that with killers a lot to help not aggrandize them, but maybe a little different for Zodiac Killers.
The Zodiac Killer,
right?
Like the most aggrandized killer of all time. It's too late for that one.
When was the last time the Zodiac Killer killed somebody?
Oh, it was super late. He stopped.
Right.
Gary Francis Post.
Okay.
Gary Post.
Anyway, this guy...
energy vampire?
Yeah, exactly. This old man had been tagged in several photos throughout, like, the 2010s with this random, like, much younger guy. Like, a guy looked like he was maybe, like, 40 or 50, just hanging out with him. Like, this guy knew Gary Post and would pose for photos with him, like, giving him, like, a big old hug or something. And it says, "Here with my good friend," tagged Gary Post. Always great to hang out with him. Zodiac? ? And he did this, like, half a dozen times. He's just like, "Oh man, in 2018 when he died, here's a photo of the last time I was able to hang out with Gary. Gonna miss you. Zodiac?" What? Like, whoa, what?
Yeah. Zodiac Killer was actually only officially active for 2 years. 1968 and 1969. So, yeah. It was a spree more than anything, potentially. Look, if he's smart enough, if it's really Gary Post, who has, like, basically no real, like, criminal activity in his background, then, yeah, this dude definitely had the ability to, like,
other crimes,
evade police, and, like, just operate under a different MO and not have the crimes be linked, and, like...
I think part of... I really wish I would have read more about this, but I think also one of the things that this group that is fingering him as the Zodiac Killer, like, also proposed was that they linked him to another crime. Like, they linked him to another murder that was not associated with the Zodiac Killer. But I don't remember anything about what they said about it.
Very weird. I hope new information comes to light. I hope the Zodiac Killer didn't just turn out to be a Jack the Ripper situation. That'd be disappointing for everybody.
What do you mean a Jack the Ripper situation?
Like, not real.
Jack the Ripper was absolutely real. He maybe not like every single one of the killings was actually done by the same person, but at least several of them definitely were.
I thought the whole Jack the Ripper thing was that this was London paper at the time trying to sensationalize the murder of prostitutes and create a figure around it rather than discuss the issue of, yeah, there are a lot of dudes out there who will just beat women to death.
Those women were not beaten to death. They were, like, harvested. The Jack the Ripper situations were famous because they had, like, their organs removed.
Jack the Ripper real.
Is Jack the Ripper real? What a Google.
Background, murders, investigation. Okay. You know what? I might be in the wrong on this one.
I definitely thought that, he was real. And it's just one of those things where it's like, it's an old thing, and the cops, it's a John Mulaney bit. We got a pool of the killer's blood over in the other hallway. Gross. Mop it up. Now back to my hunch. Like, they didn't know fucking shit. Sherlock was made up as like a fantasy.
Like, man, wouldn't it be cool if cops knew how to solve crimes?
What if we could actually solve crimes? That'd be cool, right?
And then since we're still technically in the breakouts, I beat Deltarune Chapter 2.
Woo.
A fun game. I enjoyed it. Undertale, but like with Toby Fox having the experience of making Undertale behind him, which is to say, enjoyed it. All of the criticisms I have against Undertale are still valid in Deltarune Chapter 2, but parts I liked are really fun. It's a weird, authentic game, and I dig that, and I just wish that there didn't have to be a fucked up, what if you killed everyone edgelord storyline in this game for me to not engage with, because that sounds awful to me, but then I feel like I'm missing out on half the content.
I don't want to kill these people, but I do.
And then I'm like 2 hours into Metroid Dread and enjoying it so far.
Do they explain what happens to Samus's bones when they turn into a ball?
I have yet to get the morph ball. Yeah. Looking forward to that, though. I got the power to charge up Samus's arm cannon, and then I killed a weird lizard alien dinosaur, and now Samus, now she can turn invisible too.
Cool.
So that's neat. Yeah. And that'll take us into the group chat. Andrew, how much more Squid Game have you watched?
None.
How?
Yeah.
Because Jade and I were going to watch it together. And after the first episode, Jade's like, I don't know if I want to watch it anymore. I'm like, cool, I'll watch it on my own. And then before I was able to, she's like, actually, I want to watch it together again. Like, I do want to watch it, so don't watch it without me. I'm like, okay. And then I'm like, hey, you want to watch Squid Game tonight? You know what? I'm actually not really feeling Squid Game. Next time you get a chance, go watch it without me. You know what? Yeah. No, all my relatives are watching it. I'm gonna watch it again. It's just...
That's a pass from me, dog. If Angel pulled that once, just like, go ahead without me. That's unrevocable. If I'm enjoying it, and
right.
It sounded like you kind of enjoyed the.
I did. It was very stressful and like tense, but I liked it.
Yeah. If I'm looking forward to more content, and someone gives me the green light to watch more content, they're not gonna be able to take that one back.
After the first episode of Squid Game, my entire life revolved around how do I get these 9 episodes in as quickly as possible. I don't know how you've been cold turkey for a week.
Some binge shit.
I'm a man of principles.
Andrew's like opposed to binge culture. He's built different.
Every drink is a sipping drink to Andrew.
Yeah. New joke, but yeah. We can talk about the Battlefield 2042 beta.
Yeah.
That shit glitchy.
This shit should have a seizure warning.
It is really, really bad visually. I mean, let me rephrase that. It is really bad in terms of like things glitching in and out of frame and lighting, flashing, and things shaking around. If you get motion sick or like actually do have problems with seizures, it probably caused a problem.
Yeah.
But very fun. I really enjoyed it. Some shit they need to work out, but it was fun.
No, yeah, the new way they're doing classes and then weapon customization is fantastic, in my humble opinion. I know we've only had the one map in the demo, Orbital, but it is incredibly well designed in a way that I'm an idiot who doesn't know game design super well, but even I can tell, man, this is well done. This is fun and convenient and intuitive. It's great. It's great on every level.
The biggest thing that I need fixed 100%, assuming that they're going to fix it, which once again, they haven't admitted that this is necessarily a problem, is that everyone looks the exact same.
Yeah, there's no way to distinguish. I mean,
regardless of what team
technically,
you're on.
There's like red and blue.
Feels like something they might be
above
fixing.
their name.
Yeah.
Yeah, they need to change that.
No, but like their outfits
I know.
And the physical appearance, because there was only 4 characters available, and I think they're going to 12?
Yeah.
There's going to be 12 heroes or whatever. Yeah, everyone just looks the exact same, and definitely when some of the characters became more meta than others, it was just like you see either a bunch of old German grandmas running around or a bunch of like skinny Canadian twinks running around. It was kind of after a while. Like,
I think they also
10 out of 10 game filled with Canadian twinks.
I also think they need to do something to help distinguish between like friends and foes. I don't think it was. I don't think it was very.
It's just the subtle cues, like just having them have different outfits and stuff, like different factions.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like,
allows them
just
to different
make them lighter or darker or a slight hue of red or blue or green or whatever fucking uniform that organization is wearing. Just change it a little bit. I don't like what they're doing with classes, though. I think part of Battlefield has always been the idea that like, ooh, you gotta have teamwork and you gotta have basically a division of labor that helps optimize the team, and instead it's just everyone is anything. So there'll probably be some things tweaked around with that to make gadgets and stuff different, but I never really figured out why there were still classes. Like there's an assault package and a support class or a support package.
Those packages are just like default, like get you started.
Yeah.
And then you can totally customize them.
Yeah.
The difference in having like different people was just the inherent abilities, like the grappling hook or the med gun,
which is
or the
fine.
turret.
But like maybe you want to be a medic guy with a grappling hook and have the grappling hook, and you have one other gadget, and it's one of 5 medic things, or an engineer with a grappling hook. Like I think there needs to be more deviation between classes.
Wait, so don't you kind of want less deviation?
Yeah.
You want the grappling hook guy to be able to be a medic? Like,
no, I'm saying they can.
I think that's
I'm
the
saying
point.
that you can still use those characters and have their innate abilities and gadgets and stuff. But
that's arbitrary.
I know, but I'm saying that there needs to be like more.
It's not more. You're just trading.
Okay, then sure. Then I want to trade it. I want classes back.
You just don't like this new thing. You don't want more like diversity or less diversity. You just want, instead of having
I want
gear
old Battlefield
available
back.
to everyone.
No,
Instead of having gear available to everyone, you want the grappling hook available to everyone. Like it's just trading one for another.
My counterpoint to you, Andrew, was going to be, I think the abilities of each class are going to be distinct enough that they do feel impactful once the full game rolls out. But it kind of sounds like you just want to be able to have all the abilities you want rolled into one, which is fair.
Literally the opposite. Because right now you can have gadgets that you want other than the ones that are specific to...
I know. And you just want the opposite.
Yeah.
I want 4 classes.
You just want the opposite of what we currently have. Yeah. Me and Lucas are saying, like, we kind of like the fact that, like, you have to choose between a grappling gun and a turret, and you're saying, I don't want to choose between the grappling gun and the turret. I want to choose between an explosive and a health pack. Like,
I mean,
that's not different though. You realize that, like, that's just your personal
want it to be
preference. That's
old.
not actually changing.
What's new should be old.
you know what? For me personally, I will say the fact that you can revive squad mates now, regardless of class, that's what's going to get me to check out other classes in the full game. Because previously I was rolling straight healer all the time, but now that I can bring up you assholes, like, yeah, it's fine.
Also, I don't know if this was a glitch one way or another, but like my understanding of it was you can bring up your squad mates, but that's it. But then when you play as the healer character, you can bring up anybody. And I definitely played as the non-healer characters a couple of different times where I was also able to bring up other team members that weren't in the squad. And I don't know why.
I mean, we never played with a full squad.
That's
Is
true.
it possible that it was the fourth?
No,
random?
it was blue.
We did, but you were
blue.
gone.
Yeah.
I don't know. I never had that.
Well, yeah, we'll figure it out. But then, yeah, I imagine this is coming, but this game definitely needs, if not a kill cam, at least to highlight the person that killed you.
They do that.
Like in previous games, there was an actual outline around them. A couple of times in the demo, it like, oh wow, I just died. Like camera pans a little bit. What killed me?
Ooh.
There's nothing there.
That's definitely a glitch from the beta being not finished and apparently a few months old.
Also, too many flares. Choppers have too many flares.
I don't know, man. I played as a chopper, and it was fucking rough out there. You definitely only get 2, I think.
No, I think you get 1, and then it like reloads over time.
No,
but it's like pretty slow. If you blow your load and then someone else takes aim at you, you're fucked.
Yeah, for me it felt pretty rough. As when I was, I'm going to try to be an effective pilot. I love flying in video games. It's one of my favorite things, but boy, the learning curve seems real steep. Like, I really felt so remarkably ineffective. You saw me in our game where it was we had the full squad with Brady, and I was trying to drop you guys off at B and then like circle around and provide support, and I would always just end up like, well, I'm going down, and just jump out and somehow not die in the fiery explosion, but like not being able to use the helicopter at all effectively. So,
where are we at as a podcast? What is our opinion of vehicles auto-regenning health?
Yeah, that shit's lame. Fuck that.
I think
that's you should have a repair
and it
tool.
it doesn't seem like there is a repair tool, or there definitely wasn't.
Right.
There is.
In the beta, I did not see it.
Yep. No, it was alongside the AA gun that you couldn't find. It was literally in that same category.
But like, what's the point? It like auto regens health.
It doesn't regen that fast. It's the same thing
like
as a medic.
The heal gun that
it's the same concept.
Regen faster.
They let you regen automatically, but it's slower. And if you want to go faster, here's the tool for it. And yeah, I kind of agree. I think it makes the repair tool and the medic as a whole less effective. The fact that it regens so fast, but that's something they can very easily tweak. Like the timing of regen health on vehicles and people is something easily fixable, and I worry about some of the things that I had more of a big issue with not being as easily.
Or even if it just takes longer for it to kick in, so a vehicle can still be taken out somewhat easily in like a rush of people kitted to take out a vehicle, and not that, I survived with like 10 HP because I started reviving health in the middle of being attacked. Like that. Yeah. There are ways around it.
When I discovered the LMG, the fucking armor-piercing rounds, ooh, that shit was gold. Like, just being able to take down aircraft and shit by shooting it, like that's pretty awesome. That was one of my biggest complaints with Battlefield 1, is that if you did not have a launcher, you were just dead if a tank came up. Like, there was literally no recourse. It didn't do a lot, but it's something. And like, the fact that it can't just sit there and bully you, it has to be a little bit strategic, because you are going to be draining, like, 30 points of health per 100 round magazine. Like, that's not nothing. They do have to consider that. that was kind of fun. And yeah, I did get a quintuple kill on top of the movie by shooting down one of the Avenger helicopters or whatever, which was pretty fucking lit with those. So yeah,
we're hooked.
Do you think that they're going to make it so that you have to reload when you swap ammo types? Because that was a thing people were complaining about, and I started taking advantage of that a lot when I started using the LMG. Yeah. Is just swapping to another ammo type instead of reloading, because the reload's like 10 seconds long. Do you think that like that was just a beta thing, and they'll make it so that if you swap ammo types, it like reloads like kind of in the old Battlefields?
They should, I think. I mean, I think that's the one thing that like they should add an extra animation on. Like the rest of the plus system,
getting into vehicles and stuff. Yeah, I'm cool with no animation.
Like the rest of the plus system, even like with the scopes being put on and the grips and all that shit, totally fine. I thought it was really.
It was like a mini animation. You put the gun away and
it does that for
up.
Switching the ammo type too.
Yeah,
but like
exactly. For anything.
That's the one thing, because otherwise, you just double the size of your magazine.
I think that anything that we enjoy or that is to our specific benefit should remain in the game, and anything that we don't enjoy or isn't to our benefit should be removed.
I was getting the movement down so hard. Like, I can tell that I'm going to be pretty good. Like, this does cross Call of Duty with Battlefield.
Yeah.
And, like, I was good at Battlefield 1 because, like, we kind of knew how to work together as a team and play strategically. And I'm good at Call of Duty because I kind of know how to, like, move around and shoot and stuff like that. And so, like, pulling this together, it does feel like by the end of that beta, I was fucking... You missed my grand finale, Andrew. I think I had the second most caps on top of like 26 kills and just like absolutely it felt like holy shit, this is clicking already. Like day 4, and I'm like I'm doing all these slide cancels around, and people are like struggling to hit me as I'm like lighting them up, and it was like, oh, this is coming together.
And I guess at the end of the day, this new Battlefield game is doing the Battlefield thing of, intentional or not, I can walk away from playing a couple of matches with at least one super fucking cool moment.
Yeah.
Whether that's Ryan being genuinely good at the game, or me serpentining around an attack jet that's chasing me, and then just
James
gives
Bond
up.
On a 4-wheeler. Yeah. A little tiny 4-wheeler as the chopper's not high.
No.
The chopper's like behind you. It's almost scraping the ground. Just like fucking
a man with like a giant scar across his face with a Russian accent was like, hey, now is where you die, Mr. Bond, and then shot everywhere around you as you Tokyo drifted around a fucking rocket ship that was about to take off. It was cool.
Yeah. There's some it really does deliver. All the people that are hating on it, I do wonder if they like appreciated it's not Battlefield anymore. Like that, it's like a registered trademark at this point, the only in Battlefield thing, and it delivers on those moments for sure.
What do you want? Do you want it to be Battlefield Hardline? Because nobody wants it to be Battlefield Hardline except you, bud. Get out of here.
People want Battlefield 3 or 4 Part 2. And it's just not going to happen. Like, tastes have changed. Call of Duty can't release Black Ops 1 again.
Yeah.
Like, as much as people like me would love it, they literally can't do that. Like,
I'm sorry we're not 16 anymore. Stop making it everyone's problem.
And that's going to be a huge part of it, right?
It's nostalgia.
Like, the place that you were in your life when these things came out is going to be a lot more important than the things themselves.
Yeah.
And hopefully Andrew can admit that with the classes. No, but in general, I do agree with you. I do think that like locking gear to certain classes would be cool. I hope that they leave it where there's guns. Yeah. Everyone gets all the guns. I like that.
Yeah.
And like if they just made it so that like maybe only like medic or support type classes can use health packs, or maybe only engineer type classes can use rocket launchers. I wouldn't be that upset, but like I do like the fact that any character can use any gun. Yeah. That's cool for me, because that was kind of frustrating sometimes in Battlefield 1 in particular, where it's just like, oh, I really, really like this LMG, but support is not nearly as effective as medic. So
and then once you start adding,
can't really use it.
And then once you start adding achievements or unlocks on top of that, that could be frustrating if you're chasing something, but you can only play as a specific class to get that, and maybe that's not conducive to what your team needs right now. I'm seeing a lot of arguments in favor of all guns all the time. But yeah.
Also, the grappling hook's so fucking lit. Yeah, that was my other thing. Is like Ian and Brady had never played before when we were doing our 4-man squad session, and I did feel a little bit like a god, just like driving up, rolling up, immediately pulling out my grappling hook, shooting up onto the roof of A so I could provide overwatch over like the 3 choke points that I know the enemies are going to come from. I was like, I've learned a lot in these last few days. This is pretty wild. So that was kind of cool. Immediate progress in being able to like understand it.
I'm going to learn a lot more once the game fully rolls out, but until then, this has been Voluntary Viewing, episode 160, which will probably either be titled No, Doubt or Filled with Canadian Twinks. If you enjoyed what you heard, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, etc. Check us out on Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok for highlight clips. Support us through Patreon, enjoying the likes of the terrific Tiffany Cole, Sucky Badger, and sensual Richard Nixon. Or you can support us directly through the Anchor Podcast platform. Regardless, check out the description for a link to ActBlue and help a collection of great progressive causes. Email us your questions and business opportunities, voluntaryviewing@gmail.com. Follow us on Twitter for updates at V2_podcast, and follow me at Lucas DeWriter on Twitter to keep up with all of my writing. Brand new week ahead of us, everyone. Good luck with it.